Where's my headphones? I start this thing and don't even have my headphones. Well, that's an opening. But I hate cabling. Now we're together. Whew. So, where were we? The Carnegie case. Check 1, 2. There we go. Hold up. I'm not getting any audio. Something broke. There we go. I need that good archive. I need the good soundtrack. That's like some of the best parts about this. No! Read. There we go. I have no idea what I'm doing. No matter how busy one is, any person living... No matter how busy one... Take 3. No matter how busy one is... We're gonna do this till we get it right, people. No matter how busy one is, any person living within human means is certain to have at least some free time. Before or after eating, for example. It's difficult to eliminate the time required to prepare a meal and the time after one finishes eating. This is particularly the case for those who do a lot of thinking. Since the body needs to use energy to digest after eating, there's less available for the brain to use. That brand was named after the Greek goddess Nike, right? I guess it represents winning in sports, since she was the goddess of victory. Why do I already know what they're talking about? It took me like half a second. We go and have X-Fed, but we're straight up mentioning Nike. Oh, this is a joke. You got a lot of fill in your head about these brands, Miss Aoko. Don't know where to put it all. The studious resident of the mansion was now taking refuge on the sofa, looking exhausted. Aoko was talking to the robin perched on the table. The blue bird flapped its wings, doing the best to join in on the after-dinner conversation. Alice was reading in the sunroom. Discussion of how to deal with the encroaching enemy mage wouldn't start for at least another 30 minutes. So instead, she's talking to a bird! That talks like a pirate, eh? So, you think the other one is some play on adios? Bye, Felicia! It's just a name, isn't it? It's like the Grimm fairy tales where they just put the name of the brothers who came up with it for the brand name. The Brother Grimms didn't make up those fairy tales. They're a collection of folk tales passed down by oral tradition. The brothers rewrote and carefully compiled them into proper stories. They're more like scholars and craftsmen in that sense. And in some sense, kind of like conmen. Damn, call them out. They're entirely the ones known for those fairy tales, girl. If you're gonna throw shade like that, at least try to target something that's not so well known. Well, what about Anderson? The Little Mermaid and Thumbelina are super famous. Oh, and the Ugly Duckling. I personally think that the Emperor's New Clothes, me and them got a lot in common. Anderson was more of a writer than a scholar. His creativity is said to have been inspired by everything from the elite and wealthy to the common people. And what makes them happy to a resentment of the female image. He didn't write from intellectual curiosity, but rather from his own emotions. I hate to explain it this way, but if Mother Goose is a song, the Brothers Grimm tell a story. Anderson is more like a fable or an allegory.
Some of the stories are now cartoons. Anyway, Aoko, you know that dicky bird behind the Japanese sportswear name?
I heard this once from a friend of mine in elementary school, so I don't know if it's true or not. They were formed from a merger of 3 separate companies, so the name of it comes from the Japanese word for foot, ashi, and the number 6. Since the 3 CEOs would have 6 feet when together, it's probably a myth.
What's the name of the company? I'm trying to figure that part out. What would the counter be? Wouldn't it be Rokuashi? That's gonna have me stumped all night. Girl, are you okay?
Alice dropped her book on the floor of the sunroom and was biting her lip. She was clearly trying to feign calm and to breathe as if nothing had happened. She took personal offense to that statement. She thought she was doing a convincing job of it.
She is not. Everyone can tell that something is wrong with her.
I really don't understand her sense of humor or why she thinks that's so funny.
Maybe it wasn't funny at all, and she's lost all marbles and conquers about how funny it was. I mean, Alice usually smiles even when she's angry. I've seen it whenever I half-inch her diary to have a look at it. It's always the look she's given. She's like, look at that again and I'll kill ya. But I can't help it. I want to read it. If you take my curiosity away from me, I got nothing left.
The Robin felt compelled to give a counter-argument for some reason. Aoko let out a sigh. Even Alice sympathized with her over the difficult familiar.
I'm home.
Oh, you both are here today? It was at this time that Sojiro returned. He must have gotten home from his part-time job.
Which one? That's a long list. It just seems to be getting longer and longer and longer.
Welcome back. Aoko's warm welcome was quite the opposite from the faint response of the sunroom. I already ate dinner, so I don't need anything to eat tonight. I'm gonna take a nap before my night job.
When do you sleep? Dude needs to take a chill pill.
Sojiro gave Alice a wave as he left. The dull thud of something dropping was heard as he entered the hallway. Hey, you dropped something? Aoko peeked out from the sofa to yell it for Sojiro. It's been in my pocket this whole time. Sojiro calmly and naturally walked back to pick up what looked to be some kind of envelope. Perhaps it was instinct, but the human eye was drawn to motion, even if it was something one had no personal interest in. Aoko keenly followed Sojiro's hand with her eye.
That's a lot of money. Can I get some?
Ah! A wad of cash. She had to restrain herself from shouting her thoughts out loud as she leaped up from the sofa. Huh? What's wrong, Aozaki? Aoko found it difficult to come up with a proper response to the pure, innocent eyes staring back at her. That's a fuck ton of cash. Where'd you get it? Should I be calling the police? She was ashamed at how she had jumped up at the enticing sight of so much money. It's nothing. Just forget that today it was payday. You're earning a lot more than I thought.
It feels like every day is payday with him. He's got like 18 jobs. I'm sure every job pays him something.
There was an awkward pause before Sojiro smiled and returned back to his room. Aoko sat back down on the sofa, still feeling a bit awkward. This was what set it all off. It began a series of events that the Robin would later name the Dosh Affair. That should have been the name of this title. It was the next day, around the same time as the previous day's incident. Aoko was coming to pour some tea and relax when she heard Sojiro and her Robin engaged in some kind of debate in the drawing room. What they mean is that you should try to be kind in some way every time you meet someone. Then, when the day ends, you need to take time to reflect on what that kindness has brought you. Even if it's just a kind word, it might mean a lot to someone and could bring great and unexpected happiness your way. So that's why you gave me some beef jerky. Are you sure that wasn't just some bribe? I can see right through you, lad. So, Sojiro's serious demeanor was more like a consultation or a proposal than it was idle chatter. Well, I guess he's just being a weirdo, like normal. Aoko decided to ignore what was going on in the drawing room and head straight for the sunroom. There, she saw Sojiro's coat on the hot chair. Sojiro, you just left your coat here. Take this to the coat rack in the drawing room or back to your... She stopped herself mid-sentence. Every day is payday. Should I be calling the police? She could see the same kind of envelope that Sojiro had dropped on the ground yesterday inside his coat pocket, and it was even thicker than the one she had saw the day before. She wouldn't allow herself to make a spectacle about it like she did yesterday. She reminded herself that she was a model student and student council president. Anyway, it's time for some tea. Feigning disinterest, she listened in on the conversation going on in the drawing room. Sojiro was still in deep conversation with the Robin. Perhaps he hadn't... That done scared my cat. Heard her calls. Everyone feels lonely in the city. Acts of kindness, even if they look like they're done for selfish reasons, at first can do real good in the long run. I see, and it don't cost a thing to be kind to people. I'm trying to help people as much as I can now. True. They say nothing in life is truly free. So, which is it then, a wise one? Aoko was so intent on eavesdropping she'd completely forgotten that she'd come to pour a cup of tea. There was no way she could ignore such a suspicious conversation. Well, let me put it this way. If you want to be happy, you must first be hated. People shouldn't care if they're called a scam artist, for example. They just need to realize that what they're doing is for the good of others. The joy you give to others will cancel out the sense of guilt you might feel. I've heard some think like that, but what you're saying is different. Aoko agreed with the Robin in this case. Sojiro was referring to the words of a famous entrepreneur. If we want to find happiness, let's stop thinking about gratitude or ingratitude and give for the inner joy of giving. That was the actual quote. In other words, people should not save up their wealth, instead they are bound to administer it to help their company prosper. I know that one too, but you've got it all dodgy this time. Aoko was becoming upset with how much she was agreeing with the Robin at this point. This was a quote from an even more famous entrepreneur. Surplus wealth is a sacred trust which its possessor is bound to administer in his lifetime for the good of the community. This was how that one was supposed to go.
It's like these lessons have been completely forgotten, honestly, because for some reason it is not being done today. The only thing you can trust in life is money. Even if you're married with children, it's not like they're always going to be by your side. They could die in an unfortunate accident and leave you behind. Wow, this got real dark real fast. That's something I'd expect from Aoko, not from you. Are you the bad guy? Because that's some dark shit coming from you. He's letting it slip. He's letting his facade slip. Money is different. You can't buy happiness, but happiness can bring you wealth. They said that as long as you have the kindness of others and a warm bed to sleep in, you don't need anything else. Whatever he's talking about, it's not like him at all. Though his words were a bit strange and worrisome, Aoko couldn't spend much time worrying about it. She didn't have the capacity to worry about anyone else right now. Our battle with the enemy mage was always lurking just beneath the surface. This isn't any of my business anyway. Aoko shrugged it off and turned her attention away from the drawing room. She told herself that she would forget all about this commotion by tomorrow anyway. No, you will not. No, you will not. In fact, you're going to walk in on a weirder conversation. Let's be real here, because that's how the plot's going to go. You're going to walk into the weirdest conversation possible the moment you said, I'm going to forget about this conversation. I'm home. Sojiro was back from his job with a smile on his face again today. Work truly was its own reward. What? His mood was infectious, and Aoko smiled back while relaxing on the sofa. Hi, welcome home. She has gotten way too friendly with this dude. What happened to I hate your guts? What happened to I'm gonna kick your ass and bury you 6 feet under? Take a load off. You've been working since noon today, haven't you? I'll go make something for What? Her smile suddenly turned frigid. Dude's got a stack of cash like a fist height, doesn't he? What's wrong, Naozaki? You look like you just heard one of Kinomi's jokes. Don't play dumb with me. I can't keep quiet about this any longer. Empty your pockets right now. She's going to just take his entire money. That's what she's going to do. Sojiro reached in and pulled out the contents of his pocket without knowing why he was being scolded. He placed it now all too familiar brown envelope on the table, filled with cash. Can I get some of that? Like, what are you doing that justifies having that much cash? I get you have like 18 part-time jobs, but what the hell, man? It was far too thick to be in any normal envelope. Bright and enticing, it was imbued with an enchanting aura all on its own. There was nothing else it could be than a stack of cash. Well, what do we have here? Alice innocently asked Sojiro. She was a bit dazzled at the sight that there was no mistaking it for an illusion. It's paid from my part-time job. How does a part-time job get you that much cash, though? That's the problem. I work 50 hours a week, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I get you guys were in your economy bubble in the 80s. But what the hell, man? I need that kind of cash. Well, isn't that nice? Looks like dinner is on you tomorrow, then. She's got the right idea. She has the right idea. The two remained calm, despite the abnormally wadlike Try that again. The two remained calm, despite the abnormally large wad of cash before them. That being said, the one with the most common sense in the house finally had to speak up. I know you're lying, Sojiro. You kneel right here and explain to me what is going on. Are you dealing drugs? She knew more than anyone how serious this was. Huh? Explain what? Explain where you got this money. What the hell are you doing to earn this kind of cash? There's no way it's anything legal. Thank you! I thought that the first moment. That should have been your first question. What are you dealing in? Magic artifacts? Drugs? Are you pimping yourself out? It's really fine. This new job I got is at least not illegal. You were part of a gambling ring. I don't trust you. And if I do it properly, it's not dangerous at all. It pays better than the convenience store, and it's easy enough that even I can handle it without a problem. You are raising too many red flags, I'm just gonna say. Unbelievable. Aoko was just about dizzy with rage by this point. At least not illegal. That's like when an obviously drunk person tries to contend with that they are indeed quite the contrary. I swear to God I'm not drunk. I swear to drunk I'm not God. Use your brain. What kind of part-time job pays out more and more exponentially every day? Tell us exactly what you're doing. You are being scammed. You have to be. Sojiro kept his mouth shut. He didn't seem to be too threatened by Aoko's reprimands. Sorry, I can't. Not even to you. It's not really something I'm supposed to talk about. Choke him. Choke him. But please, don't worry. It's honestly something that helps people. I've only met the person who recommended me for the job once, and I'm always paid in cash. This dude's a mule of some kind. You bumpkin! All that sounds suspicious as hell! Aoko stamped her foot in frustration. But who could blame her after hearing the standard line for a scam? It's a new job. The pay is good and anyone can do it. And I'm not supposed to talk about it. Despite all that, Sojiro was still refusing to spill the beans. They hadn't known each other for that long, but Aoko was well aware of Sojiro's personality. Steadfast explained him well. Once he made a decision, nothing could make him change his mind about it. At times like this, it was near impossible to get him to talk. You really are making this difficult? Aoko backed off, realizing it would be a challenge to get him to say anything at this point. Sojiro couldn't find out what was upsetting her. Why are you so mad? Because you are dealing in something illegal and she is worried about you. Aoko decided to give up on getting anything useful out of him. There's just no job in the world like that. It's too good to be true. You agree, right, Alice? I suppose. I'm not sure what Aoko is trying to say, but I think you can do more, Shizuki. And so Alice contributed absolutely nothing useful. Aoko collapsed onto the sofa. Ozaki, it's fine. I know you don't want to talk about it. And when it comes down to it, you're just a roommate. There's no point in me trying to tell you what to do with your life. Yeah, except until the cops come bursting down your door with a warrant and you are put to the ground. Aoko shooed Sojiro away with her hand. Unfortunately, she wasn't going to be able to sit there and stew like she wanted to. She couldn't just ignore the problem like Alice. He's clearly being scammed. In the end, it's going to affect me too if I don't do something about it. She needed to be bold and make him quit this new job of his immediately. It is what a true friend would do. Except they are not friends. And it was also her duty as the student council president. There we go.
However, Aoko started to think otherwise. Morals and a clear conscience were important, sure, but for a student living solely off of their parents' generosity, that kind of money was hard to pass up. Right. So even if I do get him to quit the job, it would be a total waste for him to just give all that money up. Guess I'll have to approach this from a different angle. The wicked scheming student council president sank deeper into the sofa. Her ability to play things by ear and her miserly nature were both her strongest and weakest points. The next day, noon. Are we going to start spying on the dude now? Aoko waited until her roommates were gone, then picked up the phone in the foyer. Hey, Tobimaru, Sojiro's gotten himself into something recently. Does anything ring a bell? The sound of the first train leaving the station could be heard off in the distance. This was that time of morning when the town was deciding if it felt like waking up or not. Tobimaru Tsukiji was walking down the city streets at sunrise, enjoying the fresh, crisp morning air. This town really is beautiful when it isn't swarming with people. The crowds had become a common complaint of Tobimaru's. To him, the tacky, over-decorated street corners were the embodiments of human desire. At this time, the streets were nothing like the circus tents of activity they usually were. The main street was completely empty. It was like a lonely, tranquil morning after a festival. Pachinko! Weary men in black were busy cleaning up and restoring order in the bars after the previous night's revelry. Around the back entrance of the local restaurants, the kitchen crew were busy bringing in their daily ingredients while stifling back tired yawns. Birds carelessly wandered the streets. There wasn't even the sound of a single car engine to be heard. This was a uniquely refreshing sensation that could only be felt from a city morning. It existed somewhere between daily life and exciting entertainment. This was the only time of day when bustling modern world stepped aside for a slower, more nostalgic pace. Okay. Tobimaru searched through his coat pockets, but only found some old receipts. He rearranged the scarf around his neck to keep the cold wind at bay. Meandering through the city streets, he ended up at Central Park just as the morning magic began to fade. His stroll had no particular purpose. It wasn't for his health or anything like that. He was merely making his way home after a night out on the town. What the hell am I even doing? Tobimaru had a moment of unabashed self-reflection as he drank a can of vending machine coffee. He didn't particularly hate partying all night long, but it was pretty boring since he still wasn't old enough to drink alcohol. He'd been at it for a few days now, thinking it was at least better than being at home, but he was quickly growing bored of it. I suppose it's only natural for relatives to get together at New Year's, though? He grinned wryly at his own lame excuse. It was true that he was out wasting time like this because he didn't really have a place to go home to at the moment. The Tsukiji family always had a congregation of relatives over on New Year's Day as per his grandfather's orders. This was why his siblings and other relatives had been staying over at the Tsukiji home for a few days now. If Tobimaru was there, he had just provided fuel for the fire. He decided to avoid the family drama and not go home while everyone was there. They'd just greet him with insults anyways, and if someone tried to start a fight, he knew he wouldn't be able to resist the bait. It would only cause even more resentment and trouble for his father. So for Tobimaru, there was nothing more pointless or less enticing than getting involved in the sibling squabbles over the inheritance. Tobimaru Tsukiji was the fifth-born son to the Tsukiji family, which owned multiple plots of land in the Misaki city. However, most of that land had been acquired after the war. Before that, they had been a minor noble family on the brink of ruin. The man who built the Tsukiji family into the current glory was Kimikuni Tsukiji, Tobimaru's grandfather and the current patriarch. Kimikuni married into the struggling Tsukiji family and saved them after they lost all their power during the war. Tsukiji clan were local Shinto clergy and relied upon Kimikuni's financial assets. Kimikuni, on the other hand, had leveraged clan connections to establish himself in Misaki City. While both parties came together for mutual gain, Tsukiji family failed to recognize just how ambitious Kimikuni was when they accepted him into their family. He wasn't the obedient son-in-law they had imagined. He had grand plans of his own, growing and developing industries within Misaki City and many other areas as well. Kimikuni controlled all of these areas not as a member of the Tsukiji family, but under his own name. A castle's greatest defense was its moat, not the walls, and Kimikuni bridged the moat. It was the economic equivalent of starving out the enemy. Kimikuni's financial might subdued the noble Tsukiji family completely. In less than 10 years, there was no one in the family who could stand up against him. This businessman accepted into the family as a mere son-in-law had seized the Tsukiji name and the entirety of the family fortune. However, Kimikuni had fathered many children. He would not allow the Tsukiji bloodline to die out. That was also the only way to maintain the family fortune. His 3 sons and 1 daughter all married relatives of the Tsukiji family, thus strengthening the familial bonds that Kimikuni had weakened. Tobimaro was the 5th son of Hitoyoshi Tsukiji, Kimikuni's eldest son. However, his mother was not a member of the family. Tobimaro was the result of a fling with a mistress. That ignoble birth defined his place in the family. He is the unwanted child. He was the father's love child. Although the family's dignity was somehow maintained since he was the son of Hitoyoshi, it wasn't difficult to imagine the level of mistreatment Tobimaro faced from his siblings and other relatives. Being raised in such a hostile environment made Tobimaro grow up far faster than he should have. His ability to think quickly and objectively was honed naturally within this challenging environment. However, those exact traits also brought Tobimaro a great deal of trouble. Kimikuni Tsukiji. Unfortunately, against all odds, this great leader of the Tsukiji family favored Tobimaro over everyone else, including his eldest son. Since Kimikuni had been a commoner himself, he did not believe in blood inheritance alone. To make matters worse, not a single coin from the greatest fortune had been given to any of his sons yet. The most loathsome thing in the world is that blood of the Tsukiji family. I would never have any of you if I could have helped it. Those words were spoken at every family gathering, and they were the absolute truth. He'd taken a liking to Tobimaro after speaking with him at these annual family gatherings, and enjoyed playing chess with him in his spare time ever since. Everyone in the family was worried Kimikuni would name Tobimaro his successor. In this way, Tobimaro had gone from being worthless to a threat in the eyes of Kimikuni's sons. The son who had felt the most fear and hatred from Tobimaro's own father, Hitoyoshi, who would have been the unquestionable heir as the eldest son. And this was how Tobimaro became estranged from his father. They no longer even lived in the same house. Hitoyoshi always acted like they had a great father-son relationship in front of Kimikuni, but that would only last until his father was no longer around, or until Tobimaro was officially named the heir. When that happened, it would be an all-out war. In any case, it would not be a pleasant story. Grandpa really has a hard time reading between the lines sometimes. Tobimaro scratched his head in frustration. He really wasn't all that worried, though. In public, it looked like they had a good father-son relationship. In private, they were in the midst of a bitter inheritance dispute. Things had always been that way even before he met Kimikuni. The only difference was that his sole protector, his father, was now his mortal enemy. Tobimaro had always been at odds with his family. His father was just one more enemy to add to that pile. Staying out all night like this was Tobimaro's way of avoiding his family. If he was home, he knew he would try to gauge his feelings. However, they wouldn't openly attack him now, even the relatives who looked down on him, and his siblings who had bullied him as a child. The worst they would do was make snide remarks. Tobimaro was, at his core, a peaceful person. preferred to avoid trouble whenever possible. Petty revenge or even stepping up to Kimikuni's expectations weren't on his to-do list. His father's worries were unfounded, his relatives were getting riled up for no reason, and Tobimaro had no intention of stepping out of his role as the prodigal son. However, his siblings, who were around the same age as him, held a different kind of resentment. Perhaps they were guilty for tormenting him all those years. Perhaps it was a result of their roles being reversed. He's going to get back at us one day. They lived in such fear of this that they didn't dare ignore Tobimaru. I'm not good at dealing with all that talking behind my back. If they just confront me like I was lucky, it might at least be interesting. His family problems were simply a chore. It never really worried him too much. He was used to human malice, although he nearly died from the physical abuse of his siblings, even though someone had once tried to kill him with true murderous intent. Even though he had been exposed to how the elite, untouchable class of society treated others by his eldest brother. It was all a pain in the ass. These were all events that would change a person's outlook on life, but he always remained cool-headed. That was just how things were for Tobimaru. He had grown bored of his relatives getting worked up over everything. I guess everyone is different. I do sympathize with my dad. You'd have to be tough to be the son of that old man. Tobimaru honestly could not care less about who would be there next year. He had no clear plans for the future yet. His only real goal was to wash his hands of his family and start fresh when he became an adult. Until then, everything that happened was a life experience. He continued his morning walk, thinking it was better to enjoy the nightlife now. Oh, he was still young. Well, someone was already sitting on the bench when Tobimaru entered the plaza. The girls gathered there flew off at his approach. On the bench sat a girl dressed in black. A well-dressed old man with a cane sat with her. These were familiar faces, so he approached the bench to say hello. The old man looked as if they were grandfather and granddaughter. He seemed like a kind old man spending time with his grandchild. However, the truth was... Alice, I still don't understand what went wrong. We provided every service we could think of. We always thank our employees and greeted visitors with a smile. But the times haven't favored me. What's worse, my art was outright rejected. I'll never forgive them. Those media vultures can die for all I care. How dare they call them nightmarish creatures? Why, they only wish they could dream of such mascots. But give them a mouse that walks on 2 eggs and they're fond of red. If you really think about it, a rodent owns a dog as a pet. That's a nightmare. How can an animal keep another animal as a pet? If anything, an animal should keep a human as a pet, don't you think? Actually, this poor young woman was getting an earful from this old man. After his outburst, he paused for a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot myself. He scolded himself and hung his head. Just answer me this, Sellers. What was wrong with my Jitsi? Horns. You should have given it horns. The girl in black returned the old man's solemn bow with a grim answer of her own. No, horn won't do. A kid will get injured by something like that. I don't want to harm them physically, just mentally. What? What? You want to give the kids poor psychosis and need therapy for years on end, but you're okay with physical harm. You just did not know your audience, did you? Oh dear Lord. The girl nodded deeply, thinking over the implications of what this old man had just said. Anyway, Tobimaru didn't really want to get involved, but he was already too close. If he passed by without saying anything, the old man would certainly make a fuss. Good morning. Isn't it a bit early for so much regret, Mr. Tokitsu? Seems it's about time you passed on to a better place and stopped worrying your kids. Damn! That's not something you just should say to a man. That's mean. Oh yeah. Well. If it isn't the Tsukiji bratty black sheep. Morning, Toby. You're up early as usual. Oh, I'm just heading home after my being out all night. I don't live a healthy lifestyle like you two. Alice is not healthy. And good morning to you too, Miss Kuonji. The girl looked up calmly at Tobimaru's greeting. It was none other than the witch on the hill, Alice Kuonji. How long has it been since we really talked? Maybe it was at that party 2 years ago. Well, it's rare to see you out like this. That's not true. I walk through the park at this time of morning quite often, actually. Oh, that's kind of surprising. I always thought of you as kind of a shut-in. As proof, I can say I've seen you walking around here looking like a mess on many occasions. Whatever you do is your business. Just try not to cause any trouble for Aoko. Thanks. Thank you for the word of caution. I'll do my best. Despite their casual greeting, Tobimaru and Alice rarely interacted, though their fathers were acquainted. Even so, the histories of spheres of influence of the two families were very different. The Tsukijis held sway in Misaki City, the Kuonjis influenced the whole of Japan. Normally, someone like Tobimaru would not be in the same social circle as Alice. The only reason they could interact like this at all was because they were both friends with Aoko Aozaki. Oh, I didn't realize you and Alice were friends, Toby. Well, wait a second. You're not dating, are you? Don't tell me. If that's true, I'll die of a heart attack right here and now. You'd be a murderer, and Alice would be your weapon. Be sure to write that down as my cause of death. Oh, say it isn't so. The heartless love shall be the cause of my demise. So tell me again. Why a girl like you hangs around with this pathetic old man? Is it the same reason I do? Because of your father? He's my pen pal. He has more antiques than he can handle, so Aoka and I are taking some off his hands. Despite this being one of the only times they'd really talked, Tobimaru and Alice both managed to completely ignore the old man. Ho ho ho. Oh, Alice, even the way you hide your embarrassment is charming. By the way, you can just call me Julich. Mr. Tokitsu gently took Alice's hand. Alice's face remained neutral like a doll's. Toki, I'm looking for a nice painted teacup, something from the 1900s. Maybe from Justin? Oh, you have just a thing. I'll be sure to bring it out for you next time you come by with a terrifying friend of yours. He responded to her request like an obedient marionette. Oh, you know, I'm surprised you haven't ruined yourself looking for love in all the wrong places, old man. You see, the old man was none other than Yurihiko Tokitsu. He was famous in Yashirogi as the former head of Tokitsu Baking Company, with factories all across Japan. He still served as an advisor. Who are you calling old? An artist is only old when he has lost his sensibility. My fire hasn't burned out yet. I'm so young I'm almost stifling. I still look forward to passionate chats with a young woman. Ho ho ho, once you get my age, you stop giving a damn about keeping up with appearance. Talking to girls is what gives meaning to life. So wait, are you young or old? Oh, a slip of the tongue. Forgot that last bit. What I'm trying to say here is that there's nothing quite like having a nice time with a young woman.
I'm sure we can at least agree to that, can't we, Toby? Don't lump me in with you. I like older women. A man of culture. How nice. Aoko's younger than you, isn't she? I definitely have a thing for girls who are less than half my age. I definitely don't have a thing for girls who are less than half my age. I can tell you that much. I should hope not. That'd be quite the crime. Oh, damn, son. Got some fire in you for being an old man. Woo. You're only 17. I don't even want to think about what age you'd be talking about. Mr. Dokitsu nodded in self-affirmation. He chose to ignore Tobimaru's color remarks. Tobimaru was reluctantly impressed with the man's magnanimity in the end. Dude just slapped you across the face like, bitch, you committing crimes up in here? At any rate, I just wanted to say good morning. I'll get out of your hair now. Sorry to interrupt your phone. Oh, don't be like that, Toby. Fate has led you here. Relax and spend some time with us. Why don't you come and stay at my villa for a bit? We could take a helicopter. It'd be fun. Oh, I'll pass, but thanks for the invitation. If anyone I know sees me, they'll think I'm even more of a spoiled rich kid. I feel like avoiding that right now. Tobimaru's choice of words made his present situation clear to Mr. Tokitsu, and he reluctantly backed off. Such intuitive understanding made it obvious how this man had expanded the Tokitsu Baking Company nationwide. He had divined Tobimaru's complicated family situation in an instant. Tell Mick I said hello, and that he should retire to make up with his kids soon, will ya? I'm sure it'll fall on deaf ears, but okay. See you around, Miss Kuonji. I'll be sure to say hello next time I see you around in the morning. Alice's silence neither encouraged nor discouraged this. Tobimaru shrugged and left the plaza. He walked leisurely away from the park and came to an area of the city that was under redevelopment. There was a radio tower under construction that the Tsukiji family had a hand in, but most of the capital for that project was funded by foreign firms. We're looking for... We're looking for 10 years into the future with this radio tower. Many advancements will be made in the field of mobile communications. We want to bring our technology into Misaki City ahead of the rest. The man from the farm firm shook on the deal with Tobimaru's father and Hitoyoshi. Eventually I want my daughter to live here in Misaki City. I hope that she and your son can get to know each other better when that day comes. He was a handsome man who had the calm command of a leader. The fact that he had offered up his daughter to Tobimaru showed that he had researched the Tsukiji family's inheritance issue well. When are you going to realize that you're getting played, Dad? It's so obvious. And I'm not interested in blonde anyway. She could take her skanky money-grubbing hands elsewhere. I'll pass. Dude! That's a woman. Tobimaru stopped in his tracks after these muttered complaints. He decided to stop himself before he said anything worse. He walked far enough already anyway. The sun was completely up now. There was nothing more to gain from watering mindlessly. Guess I should head back. He turned his back to the radio tower and began heading home. 1 hour later... Young master, you have a phone call.
Tobimaru had returned to Sakichi residence. He took the phone from the housemaid. Hey, Tobimaru. Sojiro's gotten himself into something recently. Does anything ring a bell? Aoko Aozaki was on the line. That was never a good sign. Bang bong. What are they getting involved in? So yeah, that's as much as I know about it. Jeez, everything about that is suspicious as it gets. Sojiro seems caught up in a strange part-time job. I'll wait for you in Central Park to talk about it. 10 minutes had passed since he had received this call from Aoko and returned to the park. Tobimaru felt a light migraine coming on after hearing all about the situation. The young girl and the old man from before were nowhere to be seen. Well, you don't have to tell me that. I'm not trying to be judgmental about what someone does for work, but this just doesn't seem right. He hasn't told you anything about this? Nope. That seems to be obvious. Sorry, but I haven't heard anything. He's super secretive about his job. He said he can't talk to anyone about it or something. Yeah, he's always so tight-lipped about anything that involves other people. He's not going to talk easily. I guess you must be pretty loyal. Even you think about him. What is that supposed to mean? I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying. You'll get mad about pretty much everything. If you're watching his back outside of school, you must really like him. Not really. It's just that if he causes any problems, we're going to take the heat for it if it's during counsel. This is just risk aversion, plain and simple. Oh, okay, so you're just doing your duty. That's right. Any problem with that? No, that's very on brand with you. No, I respect it, actually. You're the perfect student council president. I mean, it's not even a school day, and you're out here just to make sure our school reputation is upheld. You really don't have to say it like that. Though, I suppose you're right. Aoko's glare seemed to suggest she wasn't interested in hearing any objections. This little bluff was rather charming to Tobimaru, who was well aware of Sojiro and Aoko's current living situation. At any rate, I guess it's my duty as Vice President to tag along with this investigation then. You continue investigating Sojiro for the reputation of the school, of course. I'll provide support however I can, and will watch out for Sojiro as his friend. Tobimaru said he would do as Aoko asked, but for some reason she did not seem satisfied. Now that it's all settled, let's get started. You should at least know where he's working, right? What's the address? I tried to tell him, but I found that out actually, but I got nowhere. All I know is he turned and walked towards 2nd Street from the train station. The Vice President was used to this. He didn't bother saying anything about her going so far as to tail Sojiro. 2nd Street, huh? There's a bunch of pachinko parlors and arcades around there. I can't think of anywhere that'd bring him tens of thousands of yen a day. I know, right? I mean, if I knew a place like that, I'd be inclined to work there myself. I just want to make sure the only place you can gamble in Misaki is the pachinko parlor, right? According to my dad, there's no gambling spots that violate the Entertainment Business Act in town. He said the owner of the pachinko parlor is an agreeable sort who seems happy sticking to his current business. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make sure. That just makes this whole thing even more mysterious. I can't think of any way that other than gambling that you can make money that quickly. Yeah, nothing except selling his body. Maybe people are paying him for a night. Did I not just say that earlier? Did I not just say that earlier? Oh boy. There was a slight delay in Aoka's reaction. It took her a few seconds to register what he was saying, but then her jaw dropped. Wait, selling his body? Are you serious? Oh, chill out. I meant as a model or something. I heard they make pretty good money. That boy is not a model. Then again, he did manage to turn 2 girls on in a matter of seconds just by being shirtless, so... And those scars, some girls like scars. You've heard that too. The art school kids are usually pretty rich. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all it is. That's not so bad. I mean, he would be nude, of course. So he is getting naked for money. What is this girl's actions? Without any real information to go on, the conversation was quickly diverging further from topic at hand. Without knowing the location of or type of work, there really wasn't much to talk about. Let's tell him again tomorrow. It'll be harder to lose him if there's 2 of us. Yeah, you're right. We don't have any other clues at the moment, so let's just pick up tomorrow. All we know is he's making lots of money, and that's not really... Tobimaro furrowed his brow. It seemed he had thought of something. His expression turned more dire by the second. What's wrong, Tobimaro? Did you remember something? Kind of. I just remembered one other idiot who's been making a lot of cash recently. It's about 3 days ago. He's been flaunting a lot of money and going to all these expensive mixer parties. And he's in the same class as Sojuro. There were a few seconds of silence. And you didn't bother to tell her? That's how you get in trouble with her. Aoko nodded. She had put 2 and 2 together. I know what you're talking about. The 2 immediately left the park to go and find the suspect. Who's in trouble?
Hey, what's happening? You know, I can't turn down an invite even if I'm in the middle of studying here at the party, guys.
Suspect A was apprehended with ease. Aoko and Tobimaro were both on the student council, so they knew their target would be at school for remedial lessons. Tobimaro got a girl in Kinomi's class to tell him he had some good news to share outside. Kinomi took the bait and came running out of the school's front gate as fast as he could. Hey, sorry to call you out when you're trying to study.
No worries, man. I was actually just using school as an excuse to skip my job, but then that was boring too, so I was just having a nap in the nurse's office. Then, that's when I got a call from you. So, I'm all ready to party, man. What's going on?
Kinomi gave a double thumbs up to show he was really ready to have some fun. I thought you'd be out and about, so I'm glad I caught you. I heard you've been holed up in the arcade for the past few days.
Yeah.
I was there giving out free games and stuff, which is fun, but not so much once you run out of cash. Plus, I'm not really interested in becoming friends with punks from other schools. And it's all guys in there. Why don't girls like hanging out in arcades, man? Anyway, that's all in the past. No point in talking about dough that's already spent. Easy come, easy go. Let's focus on the now. You're rich, right? You feel like taking a broke guy like me out on the town today, or what? Sure, but first, this bigwig here has a few questions for you.
Huh?
Hello there, Kinomi. Do you mind telling me a little about all the money you came into recently? Kinomi's expression went blank. He knows he's in trouble! If anyone could sniff out danger, it was him. And it stank like his impeding doom. Well, you see, man, I really need to get back to studying, so is it okay if I head back? Of course! Once you answer all my questions, we don't have much time later, so I hope you'll confess quickly. That smile. She's just imagining all the things she'll do to him if he doesn't behave, so you better cooperate, because that poor girl's she's already got several crimes on her bucket. What's one more? So again, tell me about this money you recently came into. I know you make around 200,000 yen a month from your part-time job. I don't think that's quite enough to live like a king for 3 days. It seemed the next logical question would be to ask if he had begun a life of crime. Well, why is this even any of your business, man? You're treating me like a criminal. I don't have anything to confess. This isn't fair. What's going on? Just tell him the truth. Got nothing to hide. Got no reason to lie. Nothing yet. We just heard about some students who recently came into a significant amount of money, and we're looking into it. A job that pays tens of thousands of yens a day is very tempting to a broke student, but we haven't heard of any such jobs reported to the school. It's our job as student council to be on the lookout for any dangers to our students. That's all. Aoko was still smiling as she inched closer to Kinomi. Dude, cooperate fast before you end up in a chokehold. She had never spoken to him this nicely after what he had done at the entrance ceremony. That alone was enough to make him think he was in big trouble. That's because he is! Really? I haven't heard anything like that. My case is different. I was just using money I'd saved up. It's just before Christmas, so I thought I'd get a little bit wild with my spending. Sort of a cleansing of the spirits, you know? Isn't this the time of year when people usually try to save money? Now, Tsukichi, let's be more sensitive. That being said, I hate to point this out, but it's obvious that Kinomi here has no date for Christmas Eve. It would be a shame if word of that got around school. I totally have a date. Seriously. Also, you're the one being insensitive here. Oh? Really? Then I guess you have some money saved up for your big Christmas Eve date then. Of course I do. Extra income, savings are two separate things. Look, my dad is super strict about watching my bank statements. He'd yell at me the moment he saw anything odd, thinking I was doing something bad. My sister searches my room, so I can't hide anything there. They even found the porn mags I hid up in the ceiling. If they found an envelope full of cash, then they'd take me down to the police station, so I used the money right away. Kinomi laughed awkwardly as if he was ashamed. He wasn't even aware of just how much he had let slip. Oh? Extra income? That's not what you said earlier. No. I mean, it was a bonus from my part-time job. They just gave me an extra 5,000 yen. Just a little. It's nothing crazy. So why? Were you talking about an envelope full of cash? I'm talking myself into a hole here, man. Are you trying to entrap me or something? This isn't entrapment. This isn't entrapment. This is standard interrogation technique. You're getting a little close. You're kind of scaring me. Also, are you wearing boots? You know this feels oddly familiar. Kinomi backed away slowly. Kinomi, do I have to remind you that we're running short on time here? I don't want to have to get physical with you. The threat of a kick to the face from Aoko was enough to show him that she was serious. Okay. I'll talk. Yes, I'm making extra income from a new part-time job. I got a bonus introducing Shizuki to them. That's all, man. What did you just say? Kinomi really was working at the same part-time job as Sojiro, she wanted to get as much information out of him as possible. This was the exact response she had wanted from Kinomi, if not better. But she felt dizzy from the implications. So you're getting bonus for getting other people to join? That sounds like a pyramid scheme? This was the oldest trick in the book for pyramid schemes and other scrupulous business practices. It's not what you think, man. Shizuki said he was looking to make some extra money, so I told him about this kind of shady job. This went back all the way before final exams. Kinomi told Sojiro about a job he heard from an older student. Since the job required a kind, honest young man, Kinomi reluctantly gave up on it for himself and instead passed it on to a friend he thought fit the description. I can't believe you did that to someone you consider a friend. You yourself knew it sounded shady. What were you thinking? Huh? Why wouldn't I pass it on to a friend? Dude needed help, so I tried to get him out. Plus, we both profited. Well, yeah, but then you also have to do your due diligence first before you tell them about something like that. That's way too much effort for a guy like me, man. I don't think you understand how friendships between guys work. You really were all dumb. You realize we're all dumb, right? I do start to believe that the more I look at you, honestly. How do you hang out with him, Tobimaru? Oh, that's enough. You can lecture him later. It'll take at least a full day to reform someone as dense as him. Hey, come on. Give me a little credit at least. I can reform in a day. I'll probably forget everything once I sleep on it, though. Hey, at least you're self-aware. It's easier than talking to someone who doesn't realize they're an idiot. There are not many people who realize that compassion is not for other people's benefit at such a young age. That makes sense. I guess I can see how you two would get along then. Wait, what? Huh? Are you both trying to pick on me? I thought you were praising me just now. We're not praising you. Definitely not. Thought so. What is this boy doing? This is a pyramid scheme of some kind. It went from pimping bodies to a pyramid scheme. For a second I thought it was drugs. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. With Kinomi leading the way, Aoko... Ugh, something's in my eye. Orale, orale! With Kinomi leading the way, Aoko and Tobimaru arrived at the part-time job in question. They moved past the new entertainment district in front of the station and into a seedy part of 2nd Street. Aoko pointed to where she had lost Sojiro when she was following him. It was right around here, so Kinomi, where is this place? Just over there? Honmono no Hikaru. Kinomi pointed to a 4-story office building. The entrance was on one side of the first floor at first glance, and it looked no different from an apartment complex. The hallway on the first floor continued around to the back of the building. The stairs were located at the beginning of the hallway and were the first thing you saw after entering. Let's go back into the alley. Aoko hurried off to the back alley where they were not likely to be seen. 3 students stuck out like a sore thumb in the entertainment districts like this. So, what's going on in here? You said it was an office, but what's the work like? Huh? You're asking me? That's literally all I know. I just heard about the job from the student. I don't know the details. I brought Sojiro here. They gave me the money and that was it. Your top suspect had just admitted he knew no further details. Hosuke Kinomi, just co-defendant, or perhaps who they thought may have been the main culprit was really no more than an annoying witness. Well, this is no good. I still can't believe you were this irresponsible, Konami. Have you ever seen any westerns? Do you know what they do with informants who are no longer useful? I don't really watch many movies, honestly. I have seen Sailor Suit and the Machine Gun, though. Mostly because I think the lead actress is hot. That's too bad. You should at least watch for a few dollars more sometimes. The informant in that film meets an untimely demise, by the way. Are you serious? Your Highness, you need to put a collar on this girl. She's like a wild dog over here. She's the one who'd call her him. Tsukiji, why are you making that face? Do you know something about that building? This is bad. I know all about it. They're a fraudulent sales company. They just came into town. They're a complete racket. Aoko was sad to hear that the truth was as bad as she thought. Konomi seemed confused as usual. Are you sure about that? Definitely. My dad heard it from his secretary, and she wouldn't lie. The front is a kind of new religion, and they're actually selling down quilts. They target the elderly and sell them super low quality quilts at extremely marked up prices. They're a leased that's a leased office, so after they make their money here for a month or so, they're probably planning on skipping town. Sojiro is most certainly being scammed. He's a perfect target for a group like that. Tobimaru slumped his shoulders in defeat. Aoko, however, was already in full battle mode. I'll put a stop to this, and then I'm going to string you up on the school's flagpole, Konomi. What? You mean you're going to hang me? That's murder, you know. Wait a second, Aozaki. Something's not right here. Sojiro had wads of cash, right? How is he being scammed? You're right. I got so caught up with Konomi that I forgot all about the money. So what does that mean? Right, if he's being scammed, he'd be the one losing money. He's making money. I hope it isn't true, but maybe Sojiro's the one doing the scamming. I can't believe it. Do you really think you're joining a group of scammers? Are you kidding me? Who in their right mind would be duped by Suzuki? He couldn't lie his way out of a paper bag. There's no way he's out here scheming. Yeah, but maybe he doesn't realize what he's doing is scamming people. He probably really believes he's selling a good product. That makes sense. He's pure innocence. It's probably just a thing old folks like to see in a salesman. Maybe he'll give me a cut of his profit next time I see him. Ow! Looks like I'll have to teach you a lesson later after all. So, what do we do, Tobimaru? Do we wait it out and gather more information? If he's really involved, he could be arrested for fraud, though he is still a minor at least. If he's just an employee, he probably won't get any kind of real sentence. I guess it all depends on what his contract said when they hired him. Yeah, that's true. He might already be a member of their group by now. Aoko looked a lot more cool-headed now. Tobimaru had been serving with her on student council for over a year. He knew exactly what she was thinking at the time like this. Murder? Knowing her, it's probably murder? If he signed a contract, it's going to be hard to get him out of it. Even if he wants to leave, it's legally binding. How far do you want to go with this? We have to at least stop their business. If they want to say they're free to practice their beliefs, they'll have to go to worship elsewhere. I could tell by the look on your face you weren't messing around. What do we do about Sojiro then? Get him to quit first? Of course. This isn't only his problem anymore. The fact that they're trying to recruit our students makes it our problem too. We have to take them down, regardless of Shizuki's involvement. Fine, but you know, they won't go down without a fight. They're technically a legal business. Just a predatory loan service. It's like a predatory loan service. Police can only give them a warning, and if we disrupt their business, they'll try and sue us for damages. We shouldn't rush into this. I know. First, we need to find out more about this company, who their president is, and how many employees they have. We also need to look for possible victims. Then we can. Aoko suddenly stopped talking in the middle of her detailed plans. What's wrong? Tobimaru noticed right away what Aoko had spotted. Aoko was looking at the crowd on the street. A familiar young man wearing a coat was walking through the lively second street. He walked confidently up to the office building and disappeared inside. He hadn't seemed to notice the worried trio watching from the shadows. The young man clearly was Sojiro Shizuki, and had started his shift, still oblivious to the severity of the situation he was in. That little... Aoko was shaking with rage. Calm down, I know how you feel, but he doesn't realize what he's doing. I just can't stand this! Aoko raised her head up in a fury and clenched her fists. She was no longer her usual calm and collected self. This was the student council president who had ruled with an iron fist, fueled by her own righteous indignation. Tobimaru, call up Mino and tell him we need 20 of his most intimidating guys from his team here immediately. Tell them to gear up because we might have a fight on our hands. Aoko darted into the main street as she barked her orders. She looked like an esteemed general charging into battle against an enemy squadron. Mino? You mean the captain of the cheer squad? Also 20 guys? What the hell are you planning on doing? What? I know that guys sometimes are in cheerleader, but you want the football team. You want the baseball team. You want the people that are working out, kicking ass, and taking names. You want contact sport people. Where's the hockey players at? What do you think? We're gonna crack some skulls. We won't go anywhere trying to make this into a legal battle. Any organization that's grooming students into committing crimes on their behalf will only answer to physical force. I mean, what is this light of truth garbage on their side? They can't just come into our town and sell their dingy down quilts on some unsuspecting citizens. Okay, just calm down. What happened to our peaceful plan just a minute ago? Only the police are allowed to use violence against criminals. Come back here. What was that for? We're doing it precisely because you said the police can't do much. If you have a problem with it, then come up with a better plan. I do not necessarily have a problem with it. I'm just telling you to calm down with it for a minute. I haven't had time to think of an alternative plan, even if I wanted to. What you were thinking of earlier, you said something about going through the legal system. You know what I was getting at. While we are investigating the company, we should also help victims of the scam come together. The reason why this company is targeting the elderly is likely because they're out of touch with the times. If we can help them understand the issue, they'll be able to work together. That sounds great. The victims will be able to do more if they work together as a group rather than as individuals. Then what? If we assume there is no kind of contract involved, we just try to get their money back. Yeah, but that's probably going to be impossible. And most definitely will have a contract. It's annoying, but if they sign something, we can't overturn that. All we can do now is try and stop the damages from getting worse. Cancel loans, cancel memberships, and get as much money back as we can. There should be a cooling off period for the down quotes, so some might be able to get a refund. That sounds like a plan. Let's go with that. There's no need for you to become the bad guy here. Let's try to solve this peacefully and within the law. That's true. But it's easy for you to say that since you weren't the one of the victims. For those that were scammed, that money is lost forever. Yeah, but it's not your job to worry about that. We should get in touch with Kumari. She was raised in the shopping district and should know the best way to go about things. Tojika? I hate to get her involved in this, but we don't have much of a choice. Okay, I'll get in touch with her. I still need you to call up Mino. Why do we still need the cheer squad with his plan? They're good for more than just intimidation. They can help support the victims when we find them. I know Mino's team looks scary, but they're all good at heart, right? Once we made sure that there's a cooling off period for those contracts, they can take care of the paperwork for them. That's not a bad idea. I bet those idiots won't know what to do when 20 big strong guys come in demanding refunds. Aoko and Tobimaru both nodded in agreement. Kinomi had been completely left to the wayside in this whole discussion. And dude's probably like, what the fuck is going on? What did I just witness? Hey man, so what's a cooling off period? I've never heard of it. It's a clause that allows you to return an item you purchased and get a full refund for the full amount paid at the time of purchase. It was officially put into practice in Japan about 10 years ago. You really never heard of it? No, never. How is that any different from a normal return? Well, it's the same, but it's just legally protected. If the Lion of Truth wants to use the law to their advantage, we can do the same. The elderly victims probably won't know a thing about it either, so that's why we're going to fight for them. In reality, only a very narrow range of products were applicable to the satisfaction period law, and it was currently unclear if those handled by the Light of Truth fell under the umbrella. If it was not applicable under this law, Aoko would have to think of another plan. However, not 30 minutes later, that would vanish when they got the chance to examine the actual quilt sold by the Light of Truth. It's going to be a damn good product. Once Aoko has an established plan, she will not waver from it. They had made a cafe with a view of the office building, their command center, and after they got together, others from the student council for backup. Their one-day blitz tactic plan began. I want this over quickly. You two take care of all the communications. Let's get this done today. Tobimaru sighed at the thought of trying to complete everything in a day's time. Kinomi, on the other hand, wondered why he had been dragged in to help. Because this is your damn fault, so you're gonna fix it! Your mess, you clean it up. Although Tobimaru had gotten Aoko to abandon the idea of physical fight, Aoko knew that the contact plan would be difficult to pull off and continued to research other options. There were many conditions that needed to be met for this plan to actually work. The major issue was the amount of time elapsed from the time of purchase. For consumable goods, the time limit for a legal return was 8 days. If there were 30 or so victims, that would probably only be applicable to 1 or 2 of them. If that was the case, they needed to look for some other consumer protection besides the satisfaction clause. Wait, really? If the items of low value are sold at an unfair price, the contract may be invalidated as profiteering. However, this must be found in public order and morality. Does this generally always favor the seller? The courts can't punish solely on the basis of suspicion. We'd be at a disadvantage if that came to an extended argument. It was a difficult situation. They wouldn't be able to stand up to an experienced group of scam artists with their limited knowledge of the law. They need to fight fire with fire, or in this case, a scam with a scam. So basically, we scammed them out of the same amount of money they scammed out of the victims. To do that, they need more intel. Aoko was studying the materials they collected for something they could use. Thank you for waiting, everyone. I've gotten the address of 10 additional candidates and one of the actual quotes sold. Thank you. You really get things done fast when you put your mind to it. Aoko took the list of victims from the student council secretary Kojika Kumari and immediately contacted Tobimaru on his pager. Although pagers could only receive short messages like "call me," they were a powerful means of communication in an age where people relied on public telephones. Tobimaru called the cafe to give Aoko an update and hear about the list of newly discovered victims. You've got all the victims together? Let Aoyama handle the proceedings. If you could get some business cards made up to throw them off, that'd be helpful too. Remember that fake organization we made up for the school festival? Use that and put that phone number on the cards. We can have Mr. Yamashita field the calls. The Victims Advocacy Group is currently at just over 10 members. The group's aim was to help the victims of the scam get their money back and remove themselves from the light of truth. Some of the victims had not even realized they'd been scammed, so with an explanation, about 10 more members were added. It helped that it was polite, young, well-dressed students who were giving them the information. The elderly generally seemed more accepting of anyone who was around the age of their grandchildren. We've done a good job getting this far. We've got our goal of 20 people in no time. Well, you laid all the conditions clearly, which made it easy for us. We looked for anyone over the age of 60 who lived alone and was not a member of their local neighborhood association. We just did exactly what the salesperson from Light of Truth did. Our work is just getting started, though. It's still going to be all we can do to make the complaint against there. Aozaki, what's with the weird smile all of a sudden? Aoko looked up after being called out by her friend. Oh, I just found something very interesting is all. We may be fighting an uphill battle, but this might be the change of tides in our favor. Look here at this tag. Aoko showed her the product label sewn down into the quilt. There on the tag was what looked like the Japanese Industrial Standards logo. The Japanese Industrial Standards logo helped maintain the quality of industrial products in Japan. Products with this mark were required to be produced in accordance with the Industrial Standardization Law. JLS? Yep, this actually makes the contracts work in our favor. I thought we were dealing with professionals, but it turns out they're actually a group of amateurs. If we do this right, we could get all the money back to the victims. It's going to feel so good to put these scammers in their place. Aoko took a seat, still grinning from ear to ear. She didn't ring Tobimaru's pager. Instead, she dialed a different number on the red phone while humming to herself. Aoko heard the familiar ringing tone through the receiver. Aozaki? I thought you were calling Tsukichi. You need to tell him about our change of plans. I will. After this. Right now, I have to figure out who to put in charge of the negotiations. I don't think Tobimaru or myself could do such an important role justice. Even if we have the advantage for now, we're still in an evenly matched battle. They could completely turn the tables on us in the discussions, so we need someone ruthless to represent us. I thought that was going to be you. No. For this we need an adult with some kind of social standing. Don't worry, I actually know the perfect person for the job. It's just you need a scammer to find a scammer. I know someone whose sole job is to win arguments against people in town. I doubt she has anything going on today, so I thought we might put her to work. It's going to be the woman from the church, or it's going to be the nun. Anyone who goes up against her is guaranteed to have a mental breakdown in an hour, no matter what kind of scam they're running. Aoko kept her phone receiver at her ear as she delivered these cutting remarks. The ringing tone had long since gone silent. Hello. I don't want to assume anything, but were you talking about me this whole time, Aoko? An elegant woman's voice could be heard from the phone's earpiece. Aoko innocently said her greetings and smiled like a hunter who had just gotten their prey to take the bait. It's the nun. It's the nun. It's the nun! It's the nun! It's this woman again! What is she doing back? I thought I was done with her! You know, I've always thought this about you. But you really don't have enough respect for your elders, Aoko. Huh?
Tobimano and Kinomi had returned from their task and stood there wide-eyed. What's a nun doing here? The person Aoko had invited to the cafe looked so out of place that it was a shock to everyone. Thank you for coming, Yuika. I pretty much told you all the details over the phone, but is there anything else you want me to go over? That's okay. I received a full report about the light truth from Itsuka. I do not require any lectures from you on that matter. Well, aren't you in a mood? That's perfect, though. Take the attitude to them. When you're in the zone, your glare alone is enough to make someone faint. I need to see this glare, because that girl has kept her eyes closed this entire damn time. Whoa, seriously? Isn't this lady a nun at Aida Church? I actually really look up to her. Oh crap, now is not the time. Hi, my name's Hosuke Kinomi. Aozaki and I aren't really friends. Kinomi was clearly trying to earn points by showing that he also was not that friendly with Aoko. Sister Yuika gave him an angelic smile back. Well, hello there. I am indeed a sister at Aida Church. My name is Yuika Susure. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Hosuke. This is crazy. You're really a nun. I can't believe you had something this amazing up your sleeve the whole time, Aoko. Wait, but what are you going to have her do? I mean, I'm fine with just having her around in general. I think we can all imagine. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sister Yuika. My name is Tobimano Tsukiji, the Student Council Vice President. Tobimano didn't look so well. Perhaps he had figured out where this course of events was headed. JLS label was indeed illegal. This discovery made Aoko realize how they could get the victim's money back and run the Light of Truth out of town completely. Sister Yuika was her solution. I thought the plan was to let the evidence do the talking, but if they don't want to be sued, get them to settle out of court. They'd pay back the money and get out of town, but this is something else. She doesn't want to just kick them out of town. She wants to fleece them for all they've got. Huh? How could she even do that? I mean, I know she's beautiful, but does a nun really have that kind of power? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Nuns are terrifying when they want to be. The Catholic Church is no one to mess with. They got church money. They got Catholic Church money. They got Pope money right there. It's not because she's a nun. That's just kind of the kind of pull that Yuika has around here. Anyway, here's the signatures of everyone in the advocacy group. The cheer team is also helping. Do you want to take some of them? If things get too heated, it's going to be a pain to resolve later. Let's just pick 5 to keep the peace. You are also welcome to accompany me if you'd like, Aoko. Huh? Wait, is Yuika going to talk to them? I thought you were going to do that, Prez. No, it's fine. She may not look it, but she's actually a specialist in these kinds of situations. Isn't that right, Yuika? Not as much as you, but yes. You could say that. Since that office is indeed operating an illegal business, I am willing to help. We both will benefit after all. Sins must not go unpunished. They must feel the pain that they inflicted upon the good people of this town. Woo! This girl is the self-righteous type. Woo! This girl keeps spinning right round. You are not welcome here. You are welcome here. You are not welcome here. I'm gonna punish you. Welcome here. I'm gonna punish your sins. Welcome to church. All to the same person in the next 30 seconds. You certainly live up to your reputation, sister. I'm sure you'll win. You've been crushing it at the competition for a long time now. Yes, well, there's simply no need for 2 schools of thought in a single place. Though the two continue to antagonize each other, they enter the office building fighting for the same team. The 5 burly members of the cheer team filed in behind them. They had left behind a glum Tobimaru and a completely clueless Kinomi. I really don't. Man, I really don't know what's going on. What is Aozaki trying to get that poor woman to do for her? Oh, you don't even want to know what kind of cruelty Aozaki is capable of inflicting upon her enemies. Once they get the company to terminate everyone's contract based on illegal sales, the two will take legal actions against them. That's where Sister Yuika comes in. She's far more qualified than Aozaki, who's just a student. I've heard some savory rumors about that church too. This company will be lucky if losing all their funds is the worst that happens. They're on the highway to hell. After taking a few deep breaths, Tobimaru also headed towards the office building. You're going in too? Isn't it a little scary? I'm not going. Are you crazy? I just have some business to attend to. You need to get back to school. I'll compensate you for all this later. Don't worry. Man, you know school's done by now, right? It's almost 9. Hey, it was fun though. Wow, you're right. Half the day's gone. Tobimaru waved goodbye and disappeared into the office building. Wait, what? Kinomi thought it was strange, since Tobimaru had just said he wasn't going in there. However, he left as well after hearing a noise that sounded like glass breaking on the 3rd floor of the building. A wise man never courts danger, as they say. The discussion ended without any major issues. The inside of the office was mostly untouched. Only the center line of desks had been pulverized by Sister Yuika. Things had been resolved peacefully without any bloodshed. I missed it? I was looking forward to seeing this. The office had been conquered in about an hour, and Aoko was now surveying it. A large desk had gone right through the window, flung through the air with a single swish of Sister Yuika's hand. The sales staff were shaking in the corner, like they'd seen the devil incarnate. Sister Yuika brought in the 5 members of the cheer squad team to seize the office permits and other important documents. Huh? Unfortunately, the one thing Aoko was looking for was nowhere to be found. She went to ask the sales staff, still quivering in the corner of the room. About 3 hours ago, did you see a harmless-looking teenage boy come in here? I know he hasn't left the building, so he must still be in here somewhere. Everyone shook their heads no. Nobody had seen a student who fit that description in the office. Aoko was looking even more confused at this point. Ah, well. She was so happy that she'd done a good deed here today. Tobimaru entered the office building and headed straight down the hallway. He glanced at the stairs in front of him as he walked by, passing several tenants and heading towards the emergency exit at the back of the building. Tobimaru knew the geography of 2nd Street well. If his memory served correctly, there were some old one-story houses behind this building that had been around forever. They were old tin-roofed rental houses that stood against the tides of time. Though overshadowed by the recent trend of 2-story apartments, they were still there, alive and kicking. At the back of the office building there was a river for processing wastewater. Beyond the river and the fence, there were many one-story houses. Next to the building there was a bridge that crossed over to the other side. It was a shortcut only neighborhood locals wouldn't know about. This is a pretty intense shortcut. Maps can't help you here, that's for sure. As Tobimaru walked towards the bridge, he saw a familiar face exit one of the old tin roof houses. The young man was wearing a coat and was, without a doubt, Sojiro Shizuki. See you tomorrow. Sojiro crossed the bridge, while the old woman who resided there saw him off. Huh? Is that you, Tobimaru? Yo, fancy meeting you here, Slick. The two exchanged glances as they crossed paths on the bridge. Sojiro looked fairly spent. That was all Tobimaru needed to see. Sojiro's new job was a lot harder than working for any scam artists. They both stopped to talk on the footbridge. You have relatives around there or something? No. I was just keeping the old woman who lives there company. Someone told me about it, and it sounded like something I could do. For some reason, Sojiro readily revealed what he had refused to tell Aoi. Is it okay talking about it? Sounds like something they might want to be kept a secret. Oh no, it's fine. It's not really anything I need to keep quiet about. I just thought maybe I should have before. You saw me coming out of there, and I actually have been wanting to tell someone about it. I didn't want to complain, but since you asked. Getting on the rail of the footbridge, Tobimaro urged him to go. It turned out that Sojiro's story was nothing out of the ordinary. His new part-time job was to be a home helper in that old one-story house. The resident was a widow who had been left alone after her son moved off to the city. At first, I was just helping around the house, he spoke with troubled, slightly regretful smile. Maybe he was ashamed of something he'd done. There was a tinge of darkness behind the wry, tormented smile on his face. Oh. Tobimaro found himself surprised at his own thoughts and slapped himself lightly on the cheek. This was his way of punishing himself. He wasn't sure why his imagination was running so wild now. That boy is trouble. Like, so much trouble. This way of punishing. You seem oddly glum, though. Oh, I get it. You have a problem with a son who left his mom like that, even though she clearly needs help around the house, huh? I mean, I would too, honestly. Take care of your mother. She changed your diapers, first off. The only reason you should be leaving your mother is if she's just toxic. If that woman is genuinely kind and caring towards you, you should at least give a little back. Come see her. Come visit her. Spend some time with her. I wonder. It's an odd story, I think, but I don't really mean to blame him. I mean, that's... Sojiro stopped himself mid-sentence. He didn't think the son hated his mother so much as he did the town. He had probably just found somewhere better to live to move away. Doesn't mean he can't come visit. Sojiro swallowed those bitter words. At first, I took the full amount of his payment, but I thought 100,000 yen was way too much for a job that'll only last a month. Dude, that is 3 million yen. Let's see, that's $1,000 a day. Dude, that's $30,000. I could use 30K in a span of a month. He trailed off, muttering that he really didn't need that much money. The old woman had thanked him for his honesty. It was part of Sojiro's appeal, most likely. In a matter of days, the old woman put all her trust into Sojiro and treated him like her own grandson. I was honestly happy about that. The problem is, she always saw him off with a smile and asked him to return tomorrow. Every time he left, she gave him a stack of cash in the hope that he wouldn't forget her. Whoa, really? That's what you're getting all that money for? Yeah, she says she wants me to be her grandson. Oh, that's so sweet. That's really kind of her. She's a loving old woman, I'm guessing. She says she can trust me, so she wants me to act like I'm her grandson. Wow, that's crazy. It's hard to believe, but I guess a grandson for hire isn't much different from a house helper. No, it's different. She said she doesn't pay helpers because she can't trust them. She said she can only trust money. She seemed to have some quirks about her, probably because she's been living alone for so long. Probably because people mistreated her for so long. By this point, she lost all faith in the goodwill of humankind. To her, the bonds of a family were nothing but fantasy. After being cast aside by her own family for so many years, the only thing that remained faithful to her was the money she saved. Over time, this led to her developing a strange complex. For her, the money she'd scrimped and saved, the last thing she could rely on, was the only way she could conceive of keeping someone in her life, paying them heavily. Oh, many people are like that, unfortunately. That's crazy. She's just hiring help. It's not like she can just buy a grandson. I think she knows that more than anyone. Even if she knows it isn't real, that's just how hard it is for her to trust anyone. What she wants most in this world is for her grandchildren to visit her, but since that's not happening, she's turned to the one thing she could trust to make it a reality. She wasn't buying him, though. She just trusted Sojiro from the bottom of her heart and was thanking him the only way she knew how. She didn't realize how that looked from other people's perspectives. Well, looks
Looks like you've gotten yourself into a real sticky situation again. But hey, try not to worry about it too much. I mean, it's a nice story. She's found something in her life that's even more important than money. Something to be proud of. Really? I hope so. It was obvious from Sojiro's expression that all of this still weighed heavily on him. Why do I struggle with speaking basic English? It's my native tongue. Come on, cheer up. Knowing you, I bet you haven't even spent any of that money she's given you. Are you saving it all up to give it back to her when she inevitably runs out? Is that why you didn't tell Aozaki? Huh? How did you know? It's just a guess, but I know how you are. Tobimaru decided it was best not to tell Sojiro about all the trouble they went through for him today. He knew Aoko would make him regret it later if he did. So tell me, what's the worst thing about all this? So let me tell you what the worst thing is about all this. The truth is, the old lady doesn't have any grandchildren. Huh? After a few moments of surprise, Tobimaru let out a sigh. He understood. Being widowed with a son who's moved to the city and grandchildren who never visit, that was normal, full, and rich. That was a normal, full, rich life. Sometimes, however, a person's dreams were all that kept them going. The bottom is limitless. For every tragic life, there is another even more tragic than that. You know, sometimes this town catches me off guard. Everyone looks so happy and blessed, but if you look hard enough, you start to see that it's not always the case. It's like the entire town is fooling me. The facade of the big city. We're happy, you're lucky. No, we're all depressed. We hate our life, and 99% of us are in some form of therapy. The other 0.5% need therapy. The last 0.5% probably should be in therapy, but don't need it. Tobimaru leaned over the railing and looked down at the bustling town below. In the end, Sojito's worries stemmed from his feeling lost in the environment. The woman who walked through life alone into an old age. Tobimaru's struggle from being antagonized by his entire family. They were both personal matters. Sojito's problems stemmed from the nebulous entity of the town itself. For every bit of progress made through modernization, there were also people left in growing misfortune. It didn't matter whether they were unequal in wealth or compassion. It was all the same. The larger a town grows, the harder it becomes for the weak to thrive. For a young man who spent his life in the countryside where everyone helped each other, this was hard to understand. Mood! Sojiro, do you really like it in this town? I honestly don't know yet. What about you? Similar. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't matter either way. Then again, I'm kind of the total opposite of you. In town, I can ignore my problems if I want. It's better than a place like this, anyway. There's something to this bustle and chaos that you can't discount, even if it does feel hollow at times. It's better than here. Not exactly. I just mean that I'd have more options. I'm sure that you've thought this at your part-time jobs, but a town like this never leaves any gaps. Wherever there's an opening, that opening is going to be filled. A city is a really well-constructed community when you think about it. Someone you never knew the day before might be a neighbor you need to call on the very next day. A street corner that had nothing on it yesterday might have a new building on it today. Every single day in the city is like living through a major surgery in progress. It's seriously impressive that it works as well as it does. Something always makes me think of that. I'm not just living on my own. I'm able to survive thanks to the accomplishments of people I never know about. I don't even know like 99% of my neighbors. I know one of the dogs. I know one of the cats. It's a cute little kitty. But the humans I do not know. It's all a bunch of give and take. The fact that it works at all is a feat in of itself. Just as the mountains are alive, so is the city. Tobimaru didn't seem to like the way that living creatures had manifested itself. But even still... I see. You really respect it, huh? I mean, it's a little embarrassing, but yeah. As someone who was born and raised in the city, Tobimaru was thankful that complete strangers were able to help each other out. Honestly, you're just asking for too much. Nobody likes where they live in the beginning. You can't choose where you were born after all. You have to learn to like wherever it is you decide to live, not the other way around. Gah! Tobimaro gave Sojiro back a hard slap. It made Sojiro straighten up his posture and snap him out of his slump a bit. Okay, but what if you decide to live somewhere where you just can't like it, no matter how hard you try? If you really don't like it, you can just move somewhere else. Don't be scared to run away from a bad place. You're meant to wander a bit in life. Yeah. That's good advice. So, Sojiro was so impressed with Tobimaru's words, he couldn't speak. They gave him a new perspective. It wasn't just the words, don't be scared to run away from a bad place. What had really left a strong impression was Tobimaru's confidence. Although he had been born in this town, he spoke freely of abandonment. I never really thought I'd hear you talk about running away. There's nothing wrong with running away if you have somewhere to run to. That's not to say you shouldn't hold on to words like victory and success, fortune and fame. I just think it's easy to feel stifled. If you're always trying to win, I don't have the willpower for someone like Kawasaki who can just power through things. I like to keep life light. You think life is better when it's light? I don't really mean lightweight or secure or anything like that. I just want more adventure, you know. Tobimaru furrowed his brow with his inability to find the proper words. What he wanted was simple. I just want to live a life that I can laugh about. That was how he saw life. Tobimaru tried his best to put into words his thoughts, hoping his friend would find them useful. Like a comedian? Tobimaru's shoulders slumped in disappointment, but even so... Actually, yeah, sure. The more he thought about it, the more he realized that Sojiro wasn't really wrong. There was no end to human desire. The perfect life was an unattainable dream. The only way to really win was to be able to say that with your dying breath that you had truly enjoyed living. Man, I wonder if this is Aozaki's influence. She's the type to take a gamble on anything. I bet she loves Bonnie and Clyde. Tobimaru tiredly scratched his head. He never would have said something like this last year, considering how pessimistic he had been then. Anyway, there's no end to it if you worry about everyone else's business. Look, the sun's already going down. We've been out here forever. Sorry to keep you. Do you have something else you need to be doing? Nah, maybe I'll just be good and head home. You should head home before it gets totally dark too. If they ask you what you were doing, just be honest. It's not as bad as you think it sounds. It's honestly kind of sweet. It is very on brand for him, though. Sojiro frowned and fell silent. He still hadn't come to terms with his arrangement with that old woman yet. If he hadn't gone there in the first place, she might not have felt like anything was missing from her life. That feeling of regret was exactly why he wanted to talk to someone. I bet you think you've done something cool to her, don't you? Like you've showed her something that she can never have, am I right? Sojiro was stunned into silence. Tobimaru knew exactly what Sojiro regretted. You shouldn't think that you have that much power over someone, Sojiro. Listen, if she thinks she messed up her life, then you should do whatever you can to help her. She's stinking rich, right? And get her to help people with it. There are so many problems in this world she can fix with her money. If you can get her to be proud of herself, then you'll have done a good job. It would make me happy at least. But it still doesn't get rid of her suffering. Don't worry about problems you can't solve. Focus on problems you can help with. If you can convince her to let you give that money back so she can use it to help others and herself, then she's won. That will give more meaning to her life than a fake grandson ever could. But if she says she's done enough and she wants you to have the rest of her money, that means you've won. She'd prefer to think of you as her grandson if that's the case. Then there's no shame in taking that money from her. I see now. Sojiro clapped his hands together. He was finally able to accept these conditions as fair. Hey, thanks for the talk, Tobimaru. His smile was no longer bitter. He would do whatever he could to help that old woman choose to assist others in need. Tobimaru thought that such unwavering confidence was a sign of true freedom. Don't worry about it. I needed it just as much as you. See you after the break. The complete just direction of this was just whoop! We're all over here thinking drugs, gambling, prostitution, pyramid schemes, just something illegal. And the dude's just chilling with the grandma, helping her out, being a good dude. Why is that so on brand? Why did anyone think there's something illegal? Tobimaru's smile was a bit less carefree as he left the footbridge. The time was 4:30 in the evening. Night would soon fall over the midwinter landscape. It's only 4:30? Dude! I expected it to be much later. It is winter, though. Yeah, sun's setting about 4:30 here, too. I don't want to hear anything. I'm home. Looks like it's going to be a cold one tonight again. Aoko and Alice were both in the drawing room when he returned. Neither of them had eaten dinner yet. Aoko looked displeased. She looks like she's ready to beat the crap out of him. Alice sat uncomfortably on the sofa. It doesn't look very uncomfortable. Huh? Were you two waiting for me to get home? Alice quietly affirmed his assumption. Aoko vehemently denied it. Azaki, I might just be imagining things, but you seem even more worked up than you were last night. Sojiro had gotten slightly better at reading the room, but he still had difficulty choosing the right words. I'll show you worked up, was what she wanted to say, but she stopped herself. No, that's probably the best thing you can say at this right moment. This dude needs a jumping. You had everyone worried about you, including Alice, outside the fact that you were making bank with her, for her. And you're over here just chilling with a grandma. And you thought you couldn't tell anyone. I get you were trying to be polite, but this deserves a jumping. She wasn't actually all that angry with Sojiro, but... Wait. What are you worked up about, Aoko? I'm not worked up about anything. If anybody's worked up about something, it's Sojiro. Alice's additional remarks seem to have been the tipping point. Sojiro thought this showed that she was indeed worked up about something. No! Really? What gave it away? You think I thought he seemed more normal than usual tonight? Sojiro felt like that was pretty offensive too, but let it slide. That's the best you're getting tonight, Sojiro. Fine, if that's how you want to play it. I was going to wait for you to say something, but I'll go ahead and ask. Sojiro, have you ever heard of an organization called the Light of Truth? No. Not before now. I didn't think so. Your name wasn't in their records anywhere. How could we have messed that up so badly? It was sent off or not, but now I've set more bad rumors afloat. I thought you liked rumors. You could use them to keep annoying little pests away. Like Hinomi. Aoko let out an exaggerated sigh and flopped down onto the sofa, seeing Aoko in this weekend state as an opportunity. The blue robin flew jauntily down from the sunroom.
I saw it with me own mince pies. The whole neighborhood is like, oh, that Aozaki girl has gone and done it again. She took on the whole business with the snap of her finger. You're an urban legend at this point. Robin continued to chatter praise for Aoko's deeds of valor. Why did I know that she was going to do that? Aoko knocked it away with a flick of her finger and picked herself up off the sofa.
I see you don't have an envelope of money today. Is your part-time job finished?
No, it's still going. I'm actually just holding that money. I made a separate bank account for it and deposited it this morning.
You're holding it?
Yep, I'll be giving it all back eventually.
Sojiro took off his coat and began talking about his job as a home helper. He kept it simple, explaining how things began and the conclusion he'd come to with Tobimaru earlier. Aoko seemed stunned by the outlandish circumstances, but in the end... Okay, I should have known. I don't know if I'm more relieved or disappointed. You really are incapable of doing anything wrong, aren't you?
No, at this point, I think he's the bad guy, because he's up to something. There's no way that... Wow. The dude did make a dark comment one time. Like, very dark. But it makes sense now why he made that comment, because of the woman he's hanging out with. Damn it, I thought I had the villain. She was back to her usual offensive self. The Aoko we all know and love. However, there was another girl in the room who had at this point gone pale.
Wait, so you're saying that wasn't your money?
That's right, I'm just holding it for someone else.
Alice, the expression on your face right now is something else. Are you okay? No, I'm fine. I just ordered takeout. Huh? Alice handed out menus from the local soba noodle shop and cafe. The blood drained from Aoko's face as she took everything in. Alice quietly passed her a small note. On it was a hastily written order that was more than enough food for the three of them. And she spent more money than they needed to in a single moment.
Wait, you already ordered?
Well, yeah. I thought it was about time someone treated us.
Alice's accusing gaze fell on Sojiro. Huh? Me? Why?
Because you got everyone's hopes up. Alice was looking forward to you treating us to dinner. You know.
Sojiro clapped his hands together for the second time today. He remembered that Alice had said that yesterday.
Yes, and you agreed.
Alice was eager to emphasize that this was not her fault. Yeah, but...
Alice may have messed up, but it's your fault. This is why you shouldn't walk around with so much money. I hope you've learned your lesson. You two are just going to have to split the bill.
No, wait, I can't. That money is in the bank. I only have 500 yen on me. He's got $5 on him. Got more than me.
He's right. Even if we pull our money together, we won't have enough. Can we cancel the order?
An air of despair fell upon the Kuonji estate. Aoko sighed as if none of this involved her. She hated to coddle them, but perhaps this was her fate.
I should have known this would happen. It's fine, I'll pay for it. I got some unexpected income today, so I might as well use it.
Aoko's sudden proposal made both Sojiro and Alice perk up. Wait, you're gonna treat us, Aozaki?
I can't believe my ears. Are you sure, Aoko?
Well,
you've already called in the order. We can't cancel now. If you called them earlier, we're probably already on the way up the hill. We got this money because of Sojiro anyway. It's a thank you present for the victims of from the Victims Advocacy Group.
The grandmas paid her! They paid her for getting their money back.
I felt weird taking it from them. And this way, it goes back to the shopping district anyway. So, don't worry about it. I do think it's a bit of a waste, though, if I'm being honest.
Her roommates began celebrating. Aoko sank back into the sofa upon seeing the happiness her gesture brought.
Oh well. Easy come, easy go. All that extra money gone just like that.
And thus, the curtain closed on a little incident involving a lot of cash. The Blue Robin fell down to the table again. That one knocked you right out of your Goldilocks, eh? Robin chirped and mimicked puffing out a cigarette. Anyway, all of that aside, let's always remember that this is the Dosh affair, so that we never forget the gravel and grit Miss Aoko dragged herself through. The Blue Robin continued to laugh at the day's hero. That poor birdie! This is the second time he deserved it! Aoko flicked the bird away just as someone knocked on the door. Alice had ordered her favorite omelet dish and set of cakes from the cafe.
Might as well enjoy.
Aoko was quietly satisfied with the spoils of an honest day's work. An honest day's work that she did not do. What's a familiar? What's a familiar? The wonderful world of
Ploys.
pathetic humans who know nothing of magic and incantation. High school versities and blue sweaters, trying to make it big, only to be one-upped by their superior heroine. Good evening. It's time for my new series of lectures where I tell you about the most esoteric of topics in the most esoteric of ways. I am your host, the great 3+1, Robin the Crook. I've invited the angel mom here tonight to act as your teacher. I mean, we are here in the room after all. She wouldn't come down to the studio, so I decided to bring the camera up to her. I'm thinking outside the cage, as they say. If the guest won't turn up on her own volition, why not shoot at the show in her lovely chambers? Because that is creepy, terrifying, and 80 different shades of just what the fuck. Hold up. I just need a...
Can we just get started already? I want to finish this and get out of here as soon as possible.
This is your room. You're embarrassing me. You put me right in the two... You put me right in a right 2 and 8.
Why?
Well, I took it as I want to finish this nonsense so I can have some quality private time with you instead. Human language here is a deep blue tint. Honestly, I barely have any grasp of what anyone is ever trying to say. Isn't your job to spy on people and communicate that with her? What is this bird?
Quiet. I actually agree with you for once.
That's the first level. That's the first shelf. I never knew you put so much trust in me, Gab. I'm not sure I can bear pieces. Oh, wait. Won't that have to just make me quake?
Robin?
Alright. So, in this lesson, we'll be discussing the most basic of basics. When it comes to familiars, I promise this will be bright and breezy for you newbies of majory. That's why it's called the wonderful world of ploys, after all. So, tell us, Miss Alice, what exactly are familiars? Explain it for someone who's never seen or even heard of such a thing.
Okay, so familiars are sort of like robots that a mage controls. Magecraft has always been a practice that requires mages to hole up inside their workshops for extended periods of study. We need an entity we can trust to collect materials, keep watch on the outside world, and eliminate outside threats for us.
They're basically like a pawn. Oh, the difference. Oh, are they different from a disciple?
They are different in many ways. A master passes down wisdom to a disciple in the hopes that one day the disciple will succeed them. It is in fact a disciple's duty to surpass their master, and a master would not accept a disciple they did not feel was capable of achieving that. Conversely, familiars are only capable of the abilities that they are imbued with at the time of their creation. You can't pass down any skills or wisdom to an entity that never grows.
I see. Guess that's why I never seem to learn anything new, no matter how many donkey's ears pass. But another way, I've been perfect since birth. No, that means you are just not changing. If you are perfect, you would change.
Yes, perfectly useless.
Damn! This episode is just throwing shade after shade after shade after shade. You get an insult. You get an insult. Everybody gets an insult today.
Many familiars are created by using a small animal as a base. That's because many familiars require magical energy from their mage owner to operate. The larger the familiar, the more magical energy is required. Small animals are convenient because they don't require much magical energy to create. And once they're made, they can subsist on their own.
Subsist? I've never hunted or anything in my life. I don't eat protein or fiber or nothing like that.
Right. Ploys are different from other living creatures. Anyway, my point is familiars are like servants or pets or to mages. It's common to use animals like cats, birds, and mice as familiars.
We're really doing that. Are you my familiar, Anu? Miss Alice, whatever about this... Oh, Jesus Christ, they brought that thing back. Put it away! Miss Alice, what about the dangerous-looking character here? What category would they be in?
This is an automaton, designed specifically for use in combat. It's really more like a sentinel than a familiar, to be honest. Automata are a special case entirely separate from the concept of a familiar. Intelligent familiars who can get along with humans like yourself are a special case. That said, they are a waste of energy just too expensive to make. It would be faster for the mage to do most of the tasks on her own, and she can make a familiar with cheaper materials.
It's a case of the ends not really justifying the means, eh? So, from what you're saying, it seems familiars are always less powerful than their mage, always living in the shadows of their wings, eh? What a bunch of useless freeloaders!
How very short-sighted of you, as usual, Robin. Sometimes I can't believe you're one of my familiars.
Alice. Miss Alice, why must your words excite, yet your expression be so fright?
This bird's a masochist. This bird is a masochist. It loves being degraded.
Even if they have only 1/10 the power of their mage, it's actually quite easy to create a familiar that is stronger than their master. Wow, I am using his voice for her.
Maybe next time I'll try embedding a derringer in your stomach or something. You won't be able to laugh or cry or fly anymore, but you can at least scare the stuffing out of anyone that crosses us, that's for sure.
Oh, Robin the Firecracker, that's so chicken and rice. Looks like I'll be a huge hit this Christmas.
I'm talking about a cap gun, just so you're aware. Maybe that's a better idea, though. One pop and you're out of my hair, forever.
Hey, come on now. You're just being mean. Anyway, I think you've pretty much just covered the basics. A familiar is like a robot that protects its mage creator, and its abilities are entirely up to the mage that makes it. So wait. I know you're a top-class mage, Alice, but what would happen if someone like Aoko made a familiar? Would it just blow itself up immediately or something?
What a ridiculous hypothesis. Aoko doesn't even have the capabilities to begin creating a familiar yet. She can only destroy things, remember? If she gave up her lone skill to a familiar, she would lose her entire reason to even exist.
Never once to mince your words, Angel Mom.
Aoko has no reason to use a familiar for combat. Conversely, I can't fight at all, so...
Ah, so that makes 18 pence. Aoko is strong all by herself. You surrounded yourself with strong allies.
Right. If you were to compare it to chess, Aoko would be the strong piece that could stand on its own, like a queen. I, on the other hand, utilize many pieces, but I myself only have the strength of a pawn.
Ah, yes, I see. I forgot just how weak and out of shape you are. Wow! We are just throwing shade. You can barely dodge paddle to swim. I can't do a single push-up. Can't ride a bicycle. It's been gym class sitting around doing mostly nothing. But that's fine. You're right, Robin Hood. And if we could get down to brass tacks, it's because we always tailing you. Hey, my angel mom, you're far too beautiful to exert yourself.
You are incredibly vile. Do you know that? I'll have you know I can jog short distances. What is going on?
Sponsor, type moon. Let's learn ploy kickshaw. Let's learn ploy kickshaw. Hello there, relieved of my daily guard duties, a blue shadow descends upon the garden. When all said and done, this bird has landed with a plump, and I'm here to get started with another lecture in this special location requested by Miss Alice herself. As you can see, it's nothing special, just an ordinary garden. Now, where could that Alice be?
I've been waiting for you, Robin. You do realize you're part of this lecture series too, right?
Hi, I can hear you, but I don't see you anywhere. What kind of trick are you trying to pull? Where the heck are you, Alice?
I'm right here. Whee! The wonderful world of ploys.
She's got the hat and the bag and everything. She is ready.
The wonderful world of ploys. Well, aren't you going to speak, Robin?
More and more I love Alice. This is the dumbest way to make me love Alice more. There is no reason this should be happening, but it's wonderful and I love it. Yeah, I'm here to bubble and squeak. I'm just a little startled is all, seeing as how I don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. That's my angel Alice, she is. You always scrub up real nice, like a right proper lady. Anyway, a quick question. What exactly are we doing here and why?
I just thought it'd be a good idea to change things up a bit. It goes against my aesthetic to keep using the same props and setting every time. This isn't some kind of dojo.
So that's why you moved your lecture here. I see. It got me an earwig. Aoko's a surprisingly big spender. I prefer a dress rather than a smock, though. I think it makes you look like a goddess. Not saying a smock is bad, but it's all about image. How powerful would this butcher hook be if we were painting that kind of thing? Anu! My lap is not available right now. Where is your throne? There is your throne. The High Priestess has a throne for a reason. Say, you haven't been painting it on a forest and a bird and some children. If the impact of the kids is too strong, you'd lose focus of the bird.
Oh no, I forgot I was in the middle of making some sweets.
And I'm being ignored. So, Miss Alice, what is it that you do all day anyway? I don't understand like 90% of what this bird says half the time. I understand each word individually, but together he makes no sense. I'll call the city council president. Tojiro's got his work. Do you just mind the old rat and mouse? That was deserved.
I do exactly what you see here. I spend my free time making ploys.
Wow, you're just like a witch in those old fairy tales. I didn't know you made ploys in a cauldron. And what's that smell? Chocolate? Wait, a tick. Are ploys made of sweets?
Robin, you are a ploy yourself. Are you telling me you don't know what ploys are made of? Maybe you're just a regular bird after all.
Hey, look, I don't know anything about that sort. Pretty sure I know how ploys work, though, because... Of course, our lovely Alice here will give you a glass deeper in the housemaid knee and broader than the skies above, right? What the fuck is this guy saying half the time? What is this bird?
What more can I add to the explanation in the main story? We're done here. Class dismissed.
You're really trying to kill the sick man, aren't you?
Got any better ideas?
Nah. I at least wanted to give you a brief overview or something. Wouldn't want us to look worse than the dojo.
I suppose I do want to avoid that. Alright, fine. Ploy kickshaw. I'll talk a little bit about how ploy kickshaws are made. But that's all I'm going to discuss today. Got it?
Ploy Kisha? That's just how you pronounce it. The k sounds is almost entirely silent. A kisha is what the Europeans call insignificant children toys or trinkets. Oh, I knew that. I also heard it's used in the bed. They really went there. They really went there. Woo! Why is this game not M? Woo! It's doing everything to be like, yeah, this is an adult game, but it's not. But we are not taking that M rating. We are gonna push that boundary like Deadpool with a PG-13 rating. Woo!
Ploys are similar to that here in Japan. We use them to play pretend war and simulate combat. They are a kind of children's educational tool. Ploy is also another word for strategy or battle plan, and in Scotland, it has well another meaning, and that one's not important.
So basically you just threw a bottle of glue at two words to make the word ploy kisha. Then, do you whip up this bit of word salad, Miss Alice?
It's a unique kind of ancient craft passed down to me from my mother. We never registered it with the Mages Association to earn royalties from it, or anything cheap like that.
I guess if you did, you'd still be the only one who could actually use it. Bound by that Meinster blood, I suppose.
Robin, have you understood a thing I've said so far?
I don't understand a thing he says so far. You are the only one I understand on this segment. Sorry to forget what I was chirping about. I'm more unsure of the past than I am of the future is all.
Who exactly were you referring to when you said Meinster?
Goddess Mom, your mother, of course. People called her a pure-blooded witch. Though she always was a bit of a bandwagoner, your mom. Always chasing the latest trends, a big fan of Lewis Carroll. A witch traditionally takes the ploy passed down to them and fine-tunes it to her needs. Since your mom fancied Carol, so that's how it came about. When she broke the rules and had you, she decided to name you Alice. Of all things, I remember the big old grin on her face.
I think I've heard enough. She was always a child at heart, that woman.
Haha, you're one to talk. Whenever that boy comes to the gates of Rome, you always perk right up. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. Ah! Are they talking about Sojo?
Let's make the topic of our next lecture Ploy Kickshaw's a tutorial. Robin, make a reservation at the usual place, will you? Then when you're finished with that, double boil this chocolate. After that, polish the mirror. And then, tie yourself into a telephone ball and tie, maybe. she keeps this bird around if she just hates it so much? Then I'm gonna ask the same question with Sojiro.
Oh, the usual routine. Gotcha. You're so hard on me today, Miss Ellis.
This is how I always am. I'm just too lazy to deal with it all in the main story, that's all.
Too lazy to deal with what?
Too lazy to waste my precious calories. Valera being stupid. He really went there! What is this segment? This segment... For one thing, do you really think you're really worth my time?
Well, black people out here, I'm thinking people gave me a comment about me. But if that's the case, I wouldn't mind if you gave me a lick sometimes. She's gonna give you a lick, and that's for sure. Just not the one you want.
I bet you wouldn't. If only it'd annoy you so much you'd leave for good.
Oof, the 1-2 knockout right at the bell. So, our boys made of sweets or not? Sweets.
Well,
I don't want to start a whole nother chapter when it's 30 minutes before 8 o'clock. So instead, let's go to our extras. CG mode.
oh, they included little ploys. Where's the other one?
We're trying to find. We're trying to find the little. That's cool to see. If only these things were in freaking order, that would be helpful. Because the backdrop is not in here anywhere I can see, at least. I can zoom out, zoom in.
Well, okay then.
What else we got? Sound mode. I wish you'd tell me which ones were new. Well, I guess this is going to be the end for the night. So, everyone have a good day. We will be back next Saturday because we are going to be starting something with Neptunia. Get a little more faster. Sundays are probably going to remain our chill stream for a while. something nice and relaxing before we start the workday.